Hello and welcome to a recommendations video. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I cut my hair. It is really short. I don't know if I like it, but it's 10 times easier to manage and like wash and dry. So I don't really mind it. And also it's hair. It's hair, it's gonna grow back, it's fine. I think my ideal length is like slightly longer, but whatever. I wanted to try it, so I did. Now that we've addressed that, today I'm going to be talking about five-ish, not really. It's like 5 authors, but there's more than 5 books. We'll get to it. That I don't think are talked enough about. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Basically, these are books that don't have a lot of ratings on Goodreads, which is where I got my information from, because it is still the most used platform, I think, even though I use many other platforms like Storygraph. I tried Fable. There's a lot, but moral of the story, I used Goodreads, and all these books have under 1,000 to 2,000 ratings or something, which is not a lot. Some of them were like 500 ratings. I will try and put how many people have read these books. These people use Goodreads, so technically not accurate, but you get what I mean. I will put how many people have rated these books somewhere on the screen while I talk about them, and I haven't seen many people talk about these books. So yeah, I think they're underrated, hence the title of the video. So let's get straight into them. So the first 5 books on my list are actually part of a series, and it's a series I've talked a lot about in recent years because I'm obsessed with it. And it is the Fairview Fairytales by Maci Aurora. There are currently 5 books. They're these here. However, these last 2 are the same thing, basically. The 5th book is coming out this year. It's called In the Shadow of an Obsession. In this series, we follow 4 different sisters. They also have a brother, but I think we only follow the sisters. And we follow a romance with each one. In the first book, we have one of the younger sisters, and she falls in love with the god of night. I think that's what he is. And he is trapped in this spell, and she gets involved in that. Yeah, I'm not gonna give you more information about the first one because, yes. These are all romantasy, by the way, I forgot to mention. In the second book, we follow the second oldest daughter, and she accidentally meets a man in the forest who is dying, and she helps him survive. And it turns out he is actually a prince or a king from a neighboring country. In the third book, we follow the youngest daughter, and she falls in love with the first male love interest's brother, and he is the god of light or sun something, don't remember. And they are able to share a dream, basically. That is the plot of this one. And in the most recent book, this one is in this, so I'd recommend getting this. But I personally liked this story the most, so that's why I have both. In this collection of novellas, there's a little bit about the parents of the girls, and there's also more information about what's happening in the first 3. It is a necessary read. I recommend In the Shadow of a Vow, which is in this. It's about the parents, and I really loved it. But that is the Fairview fairy tale series. I really love them. I'm very, very excited for In the Shadow of an Obsession, which I think is the final book. The author's website has like a update every now and then. I'll put it on the screen. I think right now it says like the editor is looking through it or something. I hope that it is published this year. I'm very excited, as I have said like 4 times now. I've also read other books by this author, but under another name, but I don't remember it, and I prefer this series, so yes. Next, I have another series. I've only read the first book, so it's not fully vetted yet by me, but I still recommend the first book, even if I haven't read the rest. It is a 4-book series, if I'm not wrong, and it is called the Talons and Tethers series by Eliza Eveland. I have the first 2. I read A Court of Crows. as an arc, which was very exciting for me. And this follows a queen who is very young, and I think it's elves. They're trying to attack her kingdom and she needs help defending her kingdom. So she hires 6 rogue mercenaries, I think, that are elven to help her defend the city. And all of the mercenaries or rogues, I don't even know, they are the funniest characters ever. I love them. There's one that has this name that I can't pronounce. Yes. I love him. He was so funny. I loved this book. I really want to reread it in order to continue with the series. This is also kind of romantasy. I'd say it's more fantasy romance than romance fantasy, if that makes sense. It's more fantasy heavy, while the Fairview Fairytales is more romance heavy with a little bit of fantastical elements. This is more of a fantasy book with romance in it. Does that make sense? From what I remember, I really liked the characters because they were funny and we follow all of their points of views, which if you find that confusing, I don't know if this would be good for you, but I like multiple points of view, and I think that this was done well. I also thought the romances, there's multiple in this, were cute. I think the only thing that I had an issue with was that this was predictable, but I say that about everything. I still really enjoyed this, and this is like the one I'm not sure if the series is great because I haven't read the next book in the series, even though I want to, but I have to reread this because I don't remember. I kind of remember, but not really, so I would need to reread to continue. So it's not fully vetted by me, but I did enjoy it when I read it. Next, I have an author that I haven't bought the books that I've read. Hold on. I don't physically own the books that I read by this author. I read all of these as arcs. I disliked. I didn't love some of her books, but I did really like some others. The author's name is Kathryn Freeman. She has a bunch of romance books. The ones that I didn't like as much are like 3 stars. I did enjoy the Beach Reads book club, which was the first book that I read by this author. I think the worst one I've read so far is Nobody Puts Rom-Coms in the Corner. Not a fan. I think I had the most issues with the TikTok part of it, but I don't remember. But the 2 books that I really enjoyed are Thank You Next and The Italian Job. The Italian Job has over 3,000 ratings, but the other one does not. It's also semi-new, so I just think that this author is underrated. All of her books are kind of around a 3, I think. I'm not sure. But I think the books are fun, especially my 2 favorite ones. I want to read more because she has a lot of books, but I have really enjoyed the books. They're really fun romances. I would recommend these if you like just a fun little romance that maybe you won't remember in a few months, but in the moment is really entertaining. That probably sounds really mean, but I love that. It's just, they're fun, enjoyable, cute little romance books that I enjoyed. And I think are underrated in terms of the actual average rating and number of people that read the book. The next 2 books are by the same author. I have a lot of like multiple books, whatever. The first book that I read by this author I fell in love with, and it is Tahira in Bloom by, I always mess this up, Farah, Heron, or Farah, Heron, I don't know. I don't have the capabilities to remember how to pronounce anything, so it's okay. I read this as an arc, which I'm very grateful for, and this is a young adult romance basically about this girl who has to live with her relative in this small town, and she doesn't want to be there because she wants to work in fashion, and she ends up having to team up with this boy that she doesn't really like in a flower arrangement type competition. It's kind of rivals, not rivals, it's kind of enemies to lovers, but I thought it was so cute. I really enjoyed this. I highly recommend this to people who like young adult romance. Super cute. As a kid, I loved fashion in books. So this really tickled my brain in the right place. I loved this. Super cute, super fun, amazing. Which then prompted me to read another arc by this author, which is How to Win a Breakup. In this, we follow our main character getting broken up with, obviously, and in order to get back at her ex-boyfriend, she fake dates this guy. Their deal is that if she gets to pretend that she's dating him, she will help him pass math class or something. I just know that they study together and she helps him study because she's really smart. And this book has also an element of baking. I don't really remember who it is. I think it's the guy, but I don't remember. I love fake dating books, so this was really fun. I recommend both of these books. I think Farah Heron's YA is so good. I personally didn't like the book that I read that was adult. Maybe I just picked the wrong book, but I really love the YA books that I've read. I really want to get into more. She has a bunch of books as well. I need to get to them. But these were amazing. This one is my favorite for obvious reasons. I gave it a 4.5. Loved it. This one I gave a 4, but they're both really fun and great books. And the last book, because I mostly read popular books, and this is very rare for me to have books that not a lot of people have read. So this list is kind of short. The last book is Shipped by Meredith Tate. This is another YA romance that I really love, obviously. This is perfect if you liked the Once Upon a Con series by Ashley Poston, aka Geekarella, and the following books. This gives the exact same energy as those books, which is one of the main reasons why I love this so much. We follow two people who go to the same school and they kind of hate each other, but they are actually friends on the internet, or start becoming friends in the book. But they don't know that they are who they are because internet usernames, you don't know. On the internet, they become best friends because they bond over the same fandom. Do you see why I say it's kind of Geekarella? So we follow the two characters in real life, in school, being rivals and not liking each other, and then on the internet starting to really enjoy each other's company and talking about the fandom and romance, because it's a romance book. I loved it. I thought it was really cute and fun. I am very interested in reading more books by this author. I don't remember if there are any that I'm interested in or if I've even looked into it. But I really recommend this book, again, if you like Geekarella or YA romance in general. Really fun. But those are all the underrated books that I've read that I think more people should give a try, maybe. I really enjoyed all of these. I think they're really fun books. None of them are actually 5 stars, but a lot of them are 4.5s or a 4-star. But even if they're not 5 stars, I think that they're still really good and recommend-worthy. Recommendable? Maybe that's the word. So if any of these sound appealing to you, I highly recommend. Yeah. But that is everything for today, and I'll see you in my next word video. Bye!